Let me review what we have discussed in our previous class, that is on Friday. We have discussed regarding comparisons between different biological neural networks and artificial neural networks, and human versus computers. Similarly, the biological neural system and how human computer is different from biological neural system. These three things we have learned, and what is the introduction for artificial neural network. So all of you please pay attention and please note down the points wherever required. This online session may continue all throughout the semester. So please note down in a notebook. All of you please note down in a notebook. So already I have mentioned the textbooks you need to follow. I repeat, textbooks you need to follow are Neural Networks and Fuzzy Logic by Vijay Lakshmi, one of the books, and the other one is Srinivasan. You can learn MATLAB also in this Srinivasan textbook.
రాసుకుంటారు వీళ్ళు లేదు అమ్మలేదు
So in our earlier classes, we have learned what is meant by neural network and how it is came into existence, what are the variations between humans and computers, organization of biological neuron versus artificial neuron. Hope I am audible. Okay, so in this class, we shall learn regarding model of ANN, NN architecture, and characteristics of ANN. These three things we will be learning in our today's class. Okay, so already we have seen the biological neuron model, in which it consists of dendrites, soma, axon, and synapse, four basic components in biological neuron. In replica to the biological neuron, the artificial neural network was developed, in which you are having input neuron. Here the input neuron, this model is for artificial neural network. The input neurons are represented usually with x1 x factor, x variable, and which is representing your dendrites in the biological neuron. And coming to the weights, which will be multiples of this input neuron still most of your friends are joining. Please mute yourself. The artificial neural network is information processing unit. So here your summation of weighed inputs is taking place, which is acting as soma of your biological neuron, and the output neuron. The output neuron here is representing Y. It is not indicated here. It is representing Y. So here you have basic model of artificial neural network in which you are having input neuron, output neuron, weights, summation unit, and also in addition to the summation unit, a threshold unit. So we'll be learning what is meant by this threshold unit, how it will be acting on the system response and giving you the output. So here if you are observing your input variables x1, x2, so on, n number of input variables or input neurons will be there. Suppose if you are going back to the basic structure of brain, the biological neuron, where we'll be having 10 power 10 basic units called neurons. The neurons in human brain may be around 10 power 10. Imagine the number. Each neuron is connected to 10 power 4 other neurons. Basically, the weight of human brain is on an average, it will be around 1.5 kgs. And average neuron weight of a human being will be 1.5 into 10 power minus 9 grams. So some of the neurons will be performing input output operations, which are also known as efferent and efferent operations, and remaining some of the neurons will be acting for interconnecting the neural network, which are responsible for signal transformation and storage of the information. So despite this number of activities, all the neurons will be having common characteristics. Okay, in the biological neural network, I am talking about biological neural network. Hope you are understanding the basic difference between biological neural network and artificial neural network. In the biological neural network, we are replicating your artificial neural network similar to the operation of a biological neural network. Okay, so before moving on to the model of ANN, you should have basic knowledge about how human being brain will be working and how the biological neurons will be operating. For that purpose only, in last classes I have discussed regarding the biological neural network. So coming to the model of artificial, please someone I'm getting disturbance.
రిఫ్రెష్ రేట్ ఎక్కువ ఓలే రిఫ్రెష్ రేట్ స్మూత్ అవ్వాలి
So in the artificial neural network, we are having input neurons, output neurons, summation unit and threshold unit also. So we shall learn what is the action of overall model of your ANN. Here, if you are considering I is the summation of input neurons with the weighing factors W1, W2, so on will be giving you your weighing factors. This part will be input weighing factors. So the output of this summation of weighed inputs will be represented by I. So I is equal to summation of this which will be represented as summation I from 1 to n wi xi. Y is representing your output. So here Y is mentioned as phi of I, where phi is indicating your activation function. Okay, activation function. So in this activation function, you need to consider the variation of your response of input neuron, network, input neural network, as well as your threshold unit. Theta is indicating your threshold unit. So usually this activation function is of several types, several different types of activation functions are there. Phi is representing your activation function. So basic activation function which we'll be considering is your step function, which is also called known as a heavy side function. Step function, which is also known as heavy side function. So it is mentioned as phi of I is equal to 1 or 0. Based on the nature of on or off of your neuron signal, either switch on or off of your neuron. This is mentioned. If I is greater than 0, it will be 1. If I is less than or equal to 0, it will be 0. Just similar to your basic step function, which is also known as a threshold function or activation function. Okay, you can call this in two different forms. See, threshold, theta is your threshold. If your I is greater than 0, you'll be getting 1 output. If I is less than or equal to 0, you'll get 0 output. This is your basic threshold function. That is the step function, which is also known as heavy side function. So here there are many different threshold functions available. Many different threshold functions available. Here we are discussing only very few. Besides your threshold, you need to go for activation function. Activation function. Okay, so here your activation function, another some more activation functions apart from the threshold function, or signum function, which is known as quantizer function, which is defined as plus 1 to minus 1 based on theta value. Okay, earlier we have seen between 0 and 1 only, but now it is between plus 1 and minus 1. Your threshold is changing between minus 1 to plus 1. Okay, based on the variation. Here, if you are observing, your signal transmitted from your input neuron, and it is cross checking with the threshold value and resulting in your final output, which is given by the activation function. Hope it is clear. Okay, if, please note down these equations, then it will be convenient and easy to learn. All of you please note down. My request is please note down in the book. Already it's the time is 12:20 and still some people are joining. So first basic activation function is signum function, step function. Next one is signum function, which is varying between plus 1 to minus 1. Someone please. Second, another activation function is your sigmoidal function. It is continuous function which is gradually varying between asymptotic values 0 and 1 or minus 1 and plus 1. So it is mentioned here with the activation function as 1 by 1 plus e power minus alpha t. Okay, here alpha is either 0.1, 0.5, 1 or 2. So it is sigmoidal function. Earlier it is signum function. Okay, now it is sigmoidal function. So in the graphical form, the sigmoidal function is also given here. It is varying between the values 0 and 1 or minus 1 and plus 1. It can be variation from minus 1 to 0 or 0 to plus 1, like that. It is exponentially varying. And last one, so these are the basic activation functions which we'll be using in our artificial neural network. Last one is a hyperbolic tangent function. This function is given by phi of I is equal to tan h of I, which can produce negative output values. Here it can produce negative output values. So these are the four basic activation functions which we'll be considering in the artificial neural network. Then moving on to the neural network architecture. Basically, the neural network architecture is given by directed graph, or also known as digraph. The graph is in ordered structure. Okay, the neural network architecture is a directed graph. Usually it is ordered in two tulips. Here you are having V1, V2, V3, V4 in this example of digraph. In this example of digraph, we can visualize vertices and edges. V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 are indicating, whereas E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 are indicating your edges. Okay, V is a set of vertices, E is a set of edges. The edges will be representing the orientation, which are indicating your synaptic links, or which will be labeled by weights. Okay, the edges are synaptic links or labeled as weights, whereas the vertices are your input or output neurons. Some disturbance, please mute yourself. So in the neural network architecture, here basically there are three types of, someone please mute yourself, someone. We are having basically there are number of architectures, but basically we consider three layers: single layer, feed for single layer feed forward neural network, and next one is multi layer feed forward neural network, and the last one is recurrent neural network. Some disturbance is coming, please. So in this three architectures, we'll be discussing one by one. Single layer feed forward neural network. In the single layer feed forward neural network, we are having only two layers: input layer and output layer. The input layer is mentioned by input neurons, and output layer is given by output neurons. Directly, it is, some disturbance is coming. Please mute yourself, someone. So in this single layer feed forward neural network, X1, X2, so on, Xn represents input neurons, and Y1, Y2, so on, Ym represent output neurons, and W11, W12. You can observe here, you can observe here the weights are mentioned as W11, the connection between first input neuron to first output neuron, W11. first input neuron to second output neuron. It is mentioned as W12. Likewise, it is connected directly, the signal being transmitted from input layer to the output layer, but several combinations. There may be from first neuron to all the m number of output neurons, W11, W12, W1M, so on, like that. There may be multiple number of interactions or signal transmissions. Okay, directly the input layer neurons are connected to the output layer neurons. Just the signal is being transmitted directly from input neuron to the output neurons. The other one is your multi-layer feed-forward neural network. So in this multi-layer feed-forward neural network architecture, you are having multiple number of intermittent neurons in which you will be having your in which you will be considering as a hidden layer. There may be some number of neurons in between your input layer and output layer, as in your single layer feed forward neural network. There may be some intermittent neurons which will be having or processing different sort of signals to multiple other layers, okay, either to the or output layers. Usually it will be directly transmitting the signals from input layer to the output layer. So several number of layers may be there here. Suppose you are considering L number of input neurons, L number of input neurons, M number of hidden layer neurons, and N number of output neurons. You call this as LMN configuration, a multi-layer feed-forward network whose configuration is L, M, and N configuration. Okay, suppose you may be having 3 input neurons. Okay, 3 input neurons. Intermittent neurons or your hidden layer neurons may be 2, and your output neurons are again 3. So you call that configuration as 3-2-3 configuration, which is multi-layer feed-forward network. So here the signals are being transmitted from directly from are fed directly from your input neuron to the output neurons via the hidden layer neurons. Okay, hope you understood this. The multi-layer feed-forward neural network. Just the signals are being transmitted, the information is being processed from your input layer to the output layer via the intermittent neurons. And the third structure is recurrent neural network. Only change in this recurrent neural network is there is direct feedback link between your output neuron to the input neuron. Here you can visualize in this picture. The final output signal is being fed back to the input neuron. Okay, the signal is being transmitted from input neuron to hidden layer, and again from hidden layer to the output neuron. Again, if the desired output is not obtained, you can feedback this link to the input layer until you get your desired output. So this architecture is named as recurrent neural network architecture. So while learning your third unit, you will be learning these different architectures. So next, what are the characteristics of neural networks? So though your neurons, different number of neurons, some are acting as inputting, transferring only input patterns, and some are acting as transmitting output patterns, or some are acting for storing information, that is memorizing, like that. Though there are several operations for the neurons, they all have similar characteristics. This is very important, the characteristics of neural networks. So first thing is they exhibit mapping capability. They can map input patterns to the output patterns. All the neural networks have the same characteristics. They can map input patterns to their associated output patterns. The second one is the neural networks learn by examples. The NN architectures can be trained with known problem before they are tested for their interference capability on unknown instance of problem. That is, they identify new objects previously untrained. So here you need to learn that the basic architectures, either it is single layer architecture, multi-layer architecture, or your recurrent architecture, they have they can be trained by known examples of a problem, okay, and they can process with the unknown instance of problem, and they can identify new objects which are previously trained. Third characteristic is the and neural network possesses the capability to generalize. They can predict new outcomes from the past trends. They have already previously having some data. So with that data, they can predict what are the new outcomes. That is one of the important characteristics of neural network. They possess the capability to generalize. Okay, neural networks are robust systems and are fault tolerant. They can recall full patterns from incomplete or partial or noisy patterns. They can recall from full patterns, they can recall full patterns from incomplete, partially, or noisy patterns. And the last characteristic is they can process information in parallel at high speeds and in a distributed manner. So these are the 5 important characteristics of your neural networks. They have mapping capability. They can learn by example. That is, they can be trained is your second characteristic. Third one is they have the capability to generalize, and they are robust and fault tolerant. That is, from incomplete or partial or noisy patterns, they can recall the full patterns. And the last one is they can process the information in parallel at high speeds and in a distributed manners. So these are the characteristics. So summary of today's class, we have learned what we have learned. Model of ANN. Okay, what are the main components of ANN? Just similar to your biological neural network, you have model of ANN, which has input neurons, output neurons, okay, and summing point as well as threshold unit. Summation which are just replica of your biological neural network. So how the different activation functions are mentioned. We have learned 4 basic activation functions: step function, signum function, sigmoidal function, and hyperbolic tangent function. Next, in the architecture, we have learned 3 basic architectures. Okay, ANNs are artificial neural networks are generally assumed with digraphs or directed graphs. We call that as directed graphs or digraphs. Okay, these graphs are ordered in one direction, orientation. Okay, you are mentioning with V vertices and E edges. The edges usually represent synaptic links. Synaptic links means which will be giving you the output to next neighboring neurons by the axon terminal, which I have discussed in our last class. And the vertices represent your neurons. Okay, basic. What is meant by a digraph? If you are asked to mention what is meant by a digraph, you need to give this example and mention that vertices represent neurons and your edges represent the synaptic links, which will be labeled as weights. See here you can observe there are directions between V1, V3. E1 is representing your weight. E2, E3, E5, E4, all these things they are representing your weights. And V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 they are representing your neurons. So basic NN structure we are having 3 basic models. Okay, there are multiple number of structures, but we will be learning these 3 only. Single layer feed forward neural network, in which you are having only 2 layers, input layer and output layer. The signals are being transmitted from input layer to output layer with several combinations. And multi-layer feed forward network, the only variation is there is a hidden layer in between your input layer and output layer. There is one more layer known as hidden layer. Okay, where your hidden layer also has different weighing weighing weights, that is your synaptic links mentioned as V11, V1M, V1M, like that, W11. So they are also your neurons, but they are acting as intermittent between your input layer and output layer. Next one is your recurrent neural network. In this, the only variation is you can feed back the signal from your output layer to input layer. Recurrent neural network. Okay, the signal is being fed back from output layer to input layer. Just similar to your multi-layer feed-forward network, you are having input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. Apart from these 3, you have one more added feature here is your output signal is being fed back to the input neuron layer. And last, characteristics of neural networks. You have basic 5 characteristics. They exhibit mapping capability. They learn, the NNs will be learning by examples, and they possess the capability to generalize. They are robust systems and fault tolerant. They process information in parallel at high speeds and in a distributed manner. So here I'll end. and we shall continue in next class with the learning methods. If you have any queries, please chat in your chat box. Please type in your chat box if you have any queries regarding the points we have discussed today. Yes. Please, all of you, follow regularly all the classes. Not only my subject, all the other subjects also. Please follow regularly. We don't know when we will be having our offline classes. So preferably all of you please follow this online classes. Okay, if no queries, we shall end here and we shall continue in next class. Thank you.